planning to take the B2 First Certificate exam, one of the most difficult parts to get help with is writing. Today I'm going to take you through a typical student's writing through the eyes of the examiner who corrects it. I'm going to show you what these categories mean with clear examples for each. All pieces of writing will be corrected in these 4 areas. Content. This focuses on how well you answered the question. Did you do everything in the task? Did you include things that were not important? Would the examiner feel that they had all of the information that they expect? The communicative achievement part. This is all about tone. Was your writing too formal or casual? How well did you communicate the simple ideas and more complex ideas? And did it keep the reader's interest? Was the examiner bored while they were reading it? Organisation. This focuses on how correctly you use paragraphs, linking words, and overall how organised the flow of the writing is. Language. This last one focuses on vocabulary and grammar. The examiners mark you out of 5 for each of these categories, giving a total of 20 marks. Let's get started. This is the question, so it's part 1, which is always an essay. Pause the video and read if you like. This is the student's answer, and it's a student who got 18 out of 20, so it's a really good piece of writing and it would be a very high pass. Pause the video if you need to. If you're interested in how many points is a pass, I'll do a video on that in the future because it's a little complicated. First up is the content category. If you look back at the question, you can see there are 3 things you must include. 2 are given and 1 is your own idea. This idea needs to be logical and not connected to the 2 ideas given. If your idea is, I would buy an island in the Caribbean, it's too similar to the first idea because you would need to spend a lot of money. And also it's not relevant. So it's really important that the idea is relevant. In our sample, our student chose to talk about the lack of free time, which is a great idea. They also talked about money and the private lives. It's so easy to get points for the content section. If you just include those 3, you've got probably 4 out of the 5 points. Now in these ones, it shows that the student is able to communicate simple ideas effectively, but have a look at this. Be careful what you wish for. So this is an expression in English, meaning a lot of people would like to be rich and famous, but don't forget there will be disadvantages. It's a great example of communicating a complex idea. This document is published by Cambridge on their website and it's called the Writing Assessment Criteria. It's a guide for teachers to explain what students need to do to get high marks in their writing. But if you are a B2 student, it's a little difficult to understand. So we have translated it into 20 different languages. The links to them are in the description below. Okay, let's look now at the communicative task. So the student got 4 out of 5 for this part, which is quite good. And straight up they started with a question, which is a very effective way to grab the reader's attention. And then here we can see the transition to the contrasting idea, then again, and a well-developed argument about the free time. Now here, celebrity sports people have to make sacrifices, but the student doesn't explain more. So it's a good sentence, but you need to kind of develop that idea a little bit better. And at the end, good conclusion with clear personal preference. In the organisation, the student did excellent. They got 5 out of 5 points for this part. And you can see here with firstly, and to sum up, and even so. These signpost the reader as to where the information is in the text. So they're talking about their different arguments. As a result, is a really good cause and effect linker. Then again, also for contrast. Furthermore, is another linker that's used to extend or give a second argument similar to the previous one. Okay, the language. In this part, the student did well, but I'll show you why maybe they didn't get top marks in this part. Here we got the student using decent salary, which is a good advanced phrase. Now, pry into and miss out on These are excellent phrasal verbs. If you do have 5 minutes at the end of your writing exam and you want to see where you can improve, look for verbs and substitute them for some phrasal verbs if you can think of any, and it's a surefire way to drive that advanced language up. Talking about drive, we've got drive celebrities crazy, a very nice idiomatic expression. Now look at this sentence. The salary may be appealing, celebrities, people have to make sacrifices. So you can see the two ideas, and the contrast there, instead of being in the between, it's at the start, while. So it's really good, and it shows confidence and an advanced language. And summing up here at the end with, I believe these consequences would be very stressful. And just a nice, succinct finish to the essay. Now the problem is that although these are good, there aren't enough of them. There should be a few other examples of advanced vocabulary and language, and then the examiner would be able to give the student top marks. If you found this useful today, this video, please check out lingologo.com, where you can find 3 other writings that have been analysed in the same way, and there will be more on the way. lingologo.com, your go-to spot for Cambridge exam practice. Bye-bye.